It's on and popping, boxing world. After about 6 years of wait, it's finally here. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Tank Davis. Yeah, we're going to talk about what date is happening in November on this video. We also going to talk about Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin possibly being the co-main event. Let's cook on it. So yeah, y'all soon will be hearing that the fight is signed. Gervonta Davis and Lomachenko, I'm hearing that they both signed the contracts and the fight is official. We just waiting for the announcement to come out. We know it's going down in November, and that's why I'm doing this video to let y'all know all of the ins and the outs, right? Now, this fight is a long, long time coming. A lot of people wanted to see this fight years ago, but it happens all the time in boxing, man. It is what it is. We getting it now, and a lot of fans still think that Lomachenko is at his peak. I'm not one of them, but a lot of fans say that he's still the same Lomachenko. A lot of people, they saw that last fight that he had with George Kambosos, and they was very impressed. I wasn't impressed. I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all. If y'all want me to lie, well, I'm sorry. I wasn't impressed. He went out there and he did what I thought he was going to do to George Kambosos. I've never been high on George Kambosos. But one thing I do believe is that Lomachenko got hit way too many times against a fighter like George Kambosos. And so I just look at that and say, man, it's going to get ugly for him against Gervonta Davis. But this is exactly why we have the fight, because a lot of people I'm hearing in the boxing community is saying that it's a 50-50 fight. You also got people picking Lomachenko to outbox Gervonta Davis. I don't see it. But have I ever been wrong picking the fight? Of course. We all have. That's why all of these fighters got to get in the ring and fight each other before we come to a conclusion. Now, I'm not sure the terms, how much these fighters getting paid to split and all of that. You would think that, of course, Gervonta Davis is the A side. You would think that it's probably going to be, I know it's probably going to be like a split promotion, but I think you might have it on ESPN Plus app where you can have it on pay-per-view, and then you might can buy the pay-per-view also on Amazon Prime, because usually when you get different promotional companies coming together doing the pay-per-view, that's what you get. You get where some people, if they want to buy it on Top Rank, they can go to Top Rank and pay for it. I mean, not Top Rank, ESPN. Y'all know what I'm saying. Or if they want to buy it on Amazon Prime, they can go to Amazon Prime and pay for it. Kind of like what they did with Canelo with the DAZN. But the one who really calling all the shots is going to be PBC, because, like I said, Gervonta Davis is the A side. So a lot of people are excited about this fight, man. I'm just looking at the overall boxing community, fans, from casual fans to diehard fans. They saying they can't wait for this to happen. And, it's the build-up is going to be crazy. The build-up is going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to see how Gervonta Davis, acts in the build-up of this fight, because Lomachenko is kind of a very respectful fighter. He don't really talk like that. And we seen how Gervonta Davis, how he did Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if he does these same things to Lomachenko. So the build-up is going to be interesting. But what really has me excited about this whole ordeal is Keyshawn Davis. Yeah, Keyshawn Davis, he came out, and y'all might have heard him and seen him today, and he flat out called out Frank Martin. He said, I want Frank Martin my next fight. Y'all been asking me who I want. I ain't say no names, but now I'm saying the name. I won't smoke with Frank Martin. And we know Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis, they were supposed to be fighting before Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson, even though that fight didn't play out. But they was the ones that people was talking about, wanted to see get it on, get it popping. They even had a face-to-face and, got at each other at a boxing event already. So that's the fight that people really want to see. Now, Keyshawn been putting on spectacular performances. Frank Martin, not so much. We know what's been going down with Frank Martin. But a lot of people still gonna believe that Frank Martin can beat Keyshawn Davis. And Keyshawn, like I said, he's let it be known that he want that fight. And so at first, when I heard Keyshawn call out Frank Martin, I said, this fight can't happen. Keyshawn is with Top Rank and Frank Martin with the PBC. So it's not big enough to be put on pay-per-view, so the fight can't happen. But then I thought, oh, PBC and Top Rank, they merging together to put on this Lomachenko fight. So what if they put this fight with Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin as the co-main event? Because it's very well possible. You gonna need a great co-main event for this card, right? A great undercard. So what's better than Top Rank's Keyshawn Davis versus the PBC Frank Martin? Now this all gonna come down to if Frank Martin want to take another tough fight after getting stopped and knocked out cold by Tank Davis. Is Frank Martin gonna really want that Keyshawn Davis smoke? You know what I'm talking about? Or is Frank Martin gonna look for a fighter to get in the ring with that he can come back and look good against? A comeback fight. Because Keyshawn Davis ain't the one. You know what I'm saying? I like Frank Martin, but man, if you ask me, who would I pick to win the fight between Keyshawn and Frank? I'm picking Keyshawn. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn is really like that. And, you know, Frank is a good fighter too, but I just don't see him beating Keyshawn. Keyshawn is coming into a whole nother level now. You know what I'm saying? He had to get those fights under his belt. He don't got a whole lot of fights, but he got an extensive background, amateur background, you know, Olympic silver medalist. So he already came in the game at a high level. So I would love to see this fight, you know what I'm saying? Because this is going to answer a whole lot of questions for Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin. And Keyshawn, he going to be trying to go out there and put on a beautiful display. He going to probably go out there and try to get Frank Martin up out of there. But can he do it? A lot of people going to be looking at that fight like, can Keyshawn get him up out of there? Because Tank did it. And we know that Keyshawn Davis been calling out Tank. So, hey, you see all the storylines for this fight, you know? Hey, and then it's another storyline, right? If Keyshawn get a Frank Martin fight before Shakur do. It's a lot of storylines to this, man. So if they can make Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin the co-main event, do y'all understand how big this pay-per-view event will be? This pay-per-view event will be huge. It might do 1 million pay-per-view buys with Tank and Loma. You feel me? If you stack the card right. So because Loma, he got a name, he got a much bigger name than Frank Martin got. A lot of people excited about this fight. The boxing world a lot more excited about Tank and Lomachenko than they was about the Frank Martin fight. If this is a possibility, right, I think it's going to be all up to Frank Martin if he want to take a fight like this. Now, I know his promoter, Errol Spence, his motto is no tune-ups. So do Frank Martin got the same motto? Do he got the no tune-up motto just like EJ do? Thinking about this and how this could play out, it got me excited. But people want to know what date in November this fight is going to take place. Let's look at the calendar, right? Now, I heard Carlos Adames, he called out Janabek to fight him on the undercard of Lomachenko and Tank Davis. And he says it was going to be on November the 3rd. But see, he playing with y'all because November the 3rd is a Sunday if you look it up. So could he have been playing with y'all and could the fight take place on November the 2nd? Write that down on your calendar. Saturday, November the 2nd, that's a possibility. Now, when you go to the next date on the calendar, November the 9th is also a possibility. I'm going to tell y'all what's a possibility and what's not a possibility. So November the 9th is also a possibility in Las Vegas, T-Mobile, or at MGM. The next week of the November the 16th, right? That ain't a possibility because you got over there in Dallas, Texas, you got a huge fight with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. So I don't think they're going to be wanting to put on the pay-per-view that same weekend to compete with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, right? And then the next weekend in Las Vegas, you got Formula One weekend. That's the weekend of like the 22nd, 23rd, right? You got Formula One weekend. They not going to want to put it on during Formula One weekend either, right? So you can cross that out. Then the next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend, right? The 30th will be right after Thanksgiving. I don't think they're going to want to do that because that ain't a good look with families traveling and just celebrating the holiday. I don't think they're going to put the event on that weekend either. So it only comes down to either November the 2nd or November the 9th. There you go. Thank me later when they make this announcement. But anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel. Diego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.